Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy new moon, 24th of June, 2017. I finally can announce now the winner of the ghost story contest that I will be reading. As I mentioned, I will be reading the story that won. And then I'll be doing a reading for the new moon, and I'll tell you about the cards that I'll be using shortly. But let me start by telling you this story. And by the way, in time, in about a couple of days, on my website, there will be a page under my podcast page where you can go and listen to a select group of stories that we decided to publish, so to speak, just the podcast. But more on that later on. So the story, we've given it the title, The Marital House, by Wendy. Wendy submitted this. And it starts, I loved the house when we bought it. It was spacious with a bright and airy feel. And the price was right. They say that if we dream of houses while sleeping, that is actually all the different rooms of the subconscious mind. I must be busy while I sleep, exploring the different rooms of my mind as I dream a lot of different rooms in different houses. Hidden rooms. I feel in the marital house I lived in for 15 years, I was living out my subconscious thoughts, mixed with a few ghosts or energies, and sometimes angels or loved ones showing up. I always wondered if it were the energetic ghosts that caused the negativity that seemed to be in the air. It wasn't always bad things, necessarily, just paranormal. I will start with the first paranormal event that I recall. It was 1997. I had just gotten home from a trip, as I was a flight attendant at the time. It was midnight. My 2-year-old daughter was asleep in her crib. My husband, at the time, was asleep with the baby monitor turned on. I slipped in quietly as not to awaken anyone. The clock said 1 a.m. as I drifted off to sleep. At 2 a.m., I was awoken by music playing. It was loud, and I realized it was coming from the baby monitor. It was as if someone had wound up her baby mobile. Strange. Was someone in the room? I listened intently to the monitor. My heart was beating, listening for a voice. I shook David awake and told him to listen. We both sat and listened, each of us too afraid to go confront the ghost or whoever was in there that turned on the music. It went on for 20 minutes. Then it stopped. We stayed in there for a long while, waiting in anticipation for a voice or the music to come back on. I couldn't believe my daughter didn't wake up from the music being played. The next day, my husband went into the crawl space in the basement, which was like a dirt cellar that you had to crawl into. He wanted to check the electrical wiring after the musical episode the night before. He crawled out, bringing with him some bones that he found in the crawl space. He seemed a bit freaked out, as they looked to be bones the size of a child. I told him that he should have let them be, as I wondered if perhaps our house was built on Indian grounds. Regardless, I intuitively knew that you are to leave bones in their resting place. My husband decided to research, and although he didn't find out if our house was built on Indian grounds, he did find out some other disturbing news. The man that built our house and the identical 2 houses beside ours committed suicide by hanging himself. Once the bones were brought out, things seemed to take a turn for the worse. Fights ensued between me and my husband. Light bulbs burst, along with their glass fixtures. A glass chopping board we had exploded out of the blue into tiny shards of glass all over the kitchen. Wind blew through the house when no windows were open. The negative energy was palpable, and I believe that was the demise of our marriage. We separated in 2008. He still lives in the house. This heavy, dark energy still affects the lives of my daughter and the whole family dynamics. I want these ghosts detached and put into their final resting place. They have caused enough havoc. Thank you, Wendy, for submitting this. And just a few words on the evaluation process. Unfortunately, we had to use English as a language, as a sort of universal language. So I understand that not everyone is a native English speaker, but that in no way conditioned our evaluation of the stories. And as I said, in a few, it should be up already, but if they're not, just keep looking. I'll perhaps give you a link underneath the video. There is a page on my website dedicated to podcasts and a specific page to a select number of stories that we have chosen, and they'll be in the form of podcasts. So we will mention the title that we gave the story, a first name of the person who submitted that, and now on to our reading. Let me put this aside, and what I have here as a token of to celebrate the ghost stories, I have here with me the Spiral Mystic Tarot. The Spiral Mystic Tarot that I've used in one other time in the readings. And I went in and told you every card that was in the spread, and I told you what the spiral meant. And in this case now, I'll be laying a 9-card spread in the diamond form that I like in this particular frame of time. And then I'll be using the VERA SIBILLA as well and casting runes. New moon on the 24th of June. Let's see what's in store around this new moon, the 24th of June. First card out, the moon. Let me lower my sound here. The moon. I'll tell you the rest. The moon, the stars, the 10 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups. These are beautiful. It's a beautiful deck. The Queen of Cups, right in the focus position, in the center. And the Magician. How lovely is this? The Ace of Wands. Powerful, powerful spread. The Page of Wands. And our outgoing card is the Page of Pentacles. This is Pythagoras. Now, powerful, 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 and I'm not joking here, starting with the moon right on down through our Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Now, of the different suits here, the only suit that's missing is the swords. We don't have swords. We have cups, we have pentacles, major arcana, and wands. 1, 2, 3 major arcana. Undoubtedly, there is a strong emotional energy around this new moon. There are new beginnings that are extremely protected by the stars, and it is a pull of passion. There's a passionate dance in our midst. And interestingly, the diagonal that goes from the moon card to the Magician goes right through the 10 of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is for me, represents the apex of a spiritual good. I call it a good, of spiritual worth, of spiritual value. It is also that Ten of Pentacles on a par, mirroring each other with the stars, from the moon to the Four of Cups. Here again, I mentioned in one of my past readings, the Four of Cups, I never read it as boredom in a couple. No, it is a firm foundation in this case, going from the moon, the stars, and the Four of Cups. It is a trampoline, a firm foundation in a relationship from which you can build on in this case. The water energy that we have with this Queen of Cups is not represented here by a person. It's not a female water sign. I'm not seeing it as that. I'm seeing it as strong, smooth, flowing energy of love. It is quite interesting that we have these two pages starting from the Magician, because the Magician is going right through the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Passion and love. This is definitely a very strong pull to materialize something. Something is being materialized. There's the groundwork here. There is the beginning. There is the birth of the romance is still there, is already there. It's not that, it's the beginning of a relationship. When we talk about emotional energies and love is in the air, like that 1970s song, Love is in the Air. There is a, or was it 80s? I can't remember. I'm giving away my age. There is love there, even if you're never with a person, if they're not near you. But here, we're talking about the beginning of a relationship, the actual deciding, what would you like? What would I like? We know that this was difficult for us in the past, and I know that it's very treading lightly, on tiptoeing toward each other. This is what I'm seeing for the new moon energy. I'm going to take the Vera Sibilla cards right on the Four of Cups to start out with. And I have here the widower. How interesting. Vedovo, the widower. Ammalato, the ill one. And the amante, the male lover. And what I'm seeing here is that of the couple, a male representative, a male energy, the animus here is the one who is suffering the most. There is suffering there, but lo and behold, when the conversation, it doesn't necessarily mean conversation with words, when the conversation rolls around to deciding how we should go forward, what shall we do next, it goes through a process of smooth water bathing the parties in play, at risk, I would say. And then the magician empowers them to see how they can proceed in a manner that is suitable for them both. I'm going to take Vera Sibilla cards on these two pages. First, the Page of Wands. Oh, how interesting. And again, this has happened in one of the readings. It may have been the solstice reading. Here I have viaggio, the trip, movement. Nemico, the male enemy. Nemica, the female enemy. They are riding off into the sunset, ladies and gentlemen. When there are two negatives, in card logic, okay, it is a positive. This magician tells them that all the antagonisms that we had in the past, today, we have the power to transform them into a game, into a playful energy, and move together. How interesting is that? How interesting is that? I love when I get these messages. You don't expect them. They're not mind-boggling, but they're surprises. They are surprises because the Vera Sibilla have spoken. So funny, so interesting. I'm going now to the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. And of course, the Page of Pentacles is waking us up to a reality check and is saying it's not all that glitters is not gold, and life is life is life is life. We take the good with the bad. What we have here, disgrazia, this disgrace, this house on fire, bambino, the beginning, and love. Love that was developed through a situation that was extremely difficult to handle. The beginning of love is now. But you both, these two parties, both know when they were in this situation what it was like for both of them. We didn't talk. Prank phone calls, fake profiles, hacking computers, all kinds of tricks, because that was when the magician was a trickster. Now things have changed. How interesting. I'm going to take the cast the runes over this and see what they can, because I'm back with my antler runes, see what they can add to this. Okay. Joy, joy, joy. The runes are definitely inviting you to empower yourselves as a couple. This is Uruk's Merkstave. Get empowered as a couple and know the steps that you can take together. Love it, love it, love it. Again, they were the same runes that came out in the solstice reading, the Awats and Algis together over the magician. The powers that you have are unlimited, and you are protected in that endeavor, the empowerment process. However, there's this need, the rune need, that tells you you must remember this phase, that antagonistic phase, and you've come a long way, baby, as a couple. But remember that's at the basis of your future happiness as a couple, and happiness it will be. We have Wunyo here, bright stave, as the last rune, and on a part. Well, I'm getting excited. I want to say it all, but wait, let me give you things as they have appeared, more or less. All right, we have the last going. We have the first rune is Manats. All right, and you can see that Wunyo is part of Manats. The joy is part of being together, and it actually looks like two of them face to face. Now, the magician has a all right. I'm getting so excited. Fehu, bright stave, and Lagus, bright stave. And I remember mentioning to you that when Lagos is bright stave, it's a joy in my heart, because it means that no effort is too great, because the prize down the line will be earned, and that is a guarantee. Fehu tells us that the idea of working together and deciding together is where success, Wunyo, will come about. I have here now a group of runes that, first of all, tell you, when you're remembering this, ladies and gentlemen, remember this as well. You've come a long way, baby, Yera, and that means there is time, bit by bit. Everything changes. Everything changes. But remember that it is by no way the goal here. This is the starting point. It's always a divenire. It's a becoming process. It's a process, work in progress. Sorry. Then I have here this water energy in the focus position of the spread talks about going in deep here with Hagalas, going underneath the surface to truly understand that which you that you can't see. Pedro Merkstead as well, because it's through the exchange, Daeg, that success will be yours. It is precisely through that exchange, Gifu, that success will be yours. The key, Otala, is success through mutual communication. And there's another last comment here by these rooms, such interesting. You know, they're in my heart. They're vying for my heart, the runes, because just like the Vera Sibilla, they have a language all their own. And when paired with this type of reading, it's so interesting because it's very harmonious. They add a beautiful harmony to the conversation that's already laid with the tarot and then detailed with the Vera Sibilla. Here is the nameless, faceless rune, weird, that I like to use. And it's right over the moon card, and the moon is the 24th. It is the new moon on the 24th. And it's sort of like a double whammy. What you have the ability here, and the magician is telling you that. You have the magician. This is a window of opportunity, the 24th of June. You have the ability to to make the relationship develop in the manner you so choose, but it has to be together. One party will not be making prank phone calls because they think the other party needs to be picked up, and nothing, none of that. No one-sided thinking, and there has to be communication, even just a bit of words, looking at each other's eyes and knowing, okay, I know that you know that I know I won't go there because I know it bothers you. But let me do have my peace. Let me do have a little bit of fun. You know that I like to do this. All right, accept that. Okay. So this is a negotiative process, a negotiation process. Very interesting reading, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope this was of help to you. Happy new moon. And congratulations, Wendy. I will be in touch. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Or, Wendy, you contact me and we'll schedule the clearing. And we'll have, give me, I will need some more information from you. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, until we read together again. Bye-bye.